We love each other. I could not be more proud of the football team. Obviously SIU's had some injuries. Ton of respect for Coach Nick Hill. Those guys still battled. But we talked about all week about dominating every single phase of the game and playing for 4 quarters, and we did just that. Obviously, still some things to clean up. We had some turnovers you don't love. You can't give up the fake field goal in that situation. That's on me totally. All the mistakes tonight pretty much just put them on the head coach because our guys are fighting their hearts out. And again, I know I say this a lot, but in the history of Missouri State football, or at least, again, as long as I've been alive, you can't ask for a better program than we're building right now.
Defense able to kind of make a statement there in the first half, especially after a rough last week. What did you see from them? Of course, taking advantage of some of the things holding Southern Illinois back right now, but did what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, we needed it. We needed a good reset after last week. We had a great week of practice, just focusing on the fundamentals of defense, because I think that's what got us in trouble last week. We had inefficient tackling, and then again, giving up those big 3rd and longs and 4th and longs will just kill you every time. But they responded the right way. The leaders on the defense took charge and made sure, because you win in practice. You don't win when the ball is kicked off out here. You win in your process. You win in how you approach each and every day, and it showed up today.
Talk about just the resiliency today. You have that fake field goal for a touchdown. They go out to start the next half and they score, and that's really all the momentum is on their sideline. This team bent, never broke. How big is that going forward?
Yeah, that fake field goal was tough, man, especially when they get the ball out of half. You hit it on the head there. But when you have winners in the locker room and you've learned how to win and you can understand that, bad things are going to happen. But when you have resolve and when you know what you're capable of doing, there's no panic. That's what I think is the best thing about our football team right now. No one panics. They all stay the course, and they feed off each other.
When Clark went down there early in that first quarter, did your heart skip a beat at all? He was on the ground?
Yeah, I almost fell over too. Yeah, so if that answers the question, yeah, I almost fell over dead right there on the spot, but he's okay.
Coach, offense took a little bit to get going there after the first. What was the conversation like with them, or did you leave it to Coach Petrino to kind of get things, hey, let's get going, let's get right?
No, the offense and Coach Petrino have done a great job. Again, we talk about things not being perfect, but still staying in the fight and understanding that, our schemes, everything works. It just got to give it time. And, they did a good job. I have their defensive coordinator has done a really good job the last few years we've played them. Their guys fought and played hard, and they were able to open some things up late.
Speaking of Thunder and Lightning, those two guys, again, making major contributions. Have you just seen them get better each week, or is this what you expected them to both contribute from the spring game?
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Those guys, again, I talked about it earlier, the guys feeding off each other. Those two especially. If you watch the sideline view, they're always cheering each other on, coaching each other up. But I think a lot of what's happening right now are the guys in the locker room, the guys that stayed when they could have left, the guys that have other opportunities, but they believe in what we're doing here, and they're loyal men. You can't find that. It's hard to find nowadays. But, again, those guys come to practice every single day. They're a joy to be around. I am extremely thankful and grateful to be their head football coach.
Jaden's progression, just kind of turning it. He can be your lead back next year. Just kind of looking at him and seeing the numbers he's able to put up with not too many feature carries. Just what are you seeing from him to where he can be a guy you can lean on next year as your RB1?
I think his even started in the offseason. We had a pretty candid conversation. He's always had the tools, but he learned how to work. He learned how to embrace the weight room, and his body kind of changed a little bit. And he understands kind of what the future looks like for him, so that's exciting. And he's been tremendous. Again, he's not a guy that complains about the amount of carries. He's a guy that puts his head down, works, and takes advantage of those carries that he does get.
I know you mentioned at the start of the press conference, right, how great of a time it is to be a Bear. And we keep going through, you're putting Rick through the history books here to figure out this winning streak. I mean, what's it mean to you to be the guy leading this charge, leading this program, and restoring the pride this community has?
Yeah, it's extremely humbling to sit in the chair as their head coach. There's a lot of great coaches that have been at this school before me. And again, it's a privilege to come to work. A lot of people can't say that in their life. They don't go to work and they're joyful and they enjoy seeing guys and talking to young men and just watching their off the field successes. And sometimes you got to wrap your arms around them when they have a bad day. I can't even put it into words how much it means to me to be the head football coach here.
And talk about the defense, right? Last week you looked 42 to the first worst scoring offense. Today, a lot better.
Yeah, we were bad last week on defense. Again, it was a lot of different things, but we got back to form. We had a good week of practice, and again, it showed up today.
It looked like there was a lot you were excited about on the sideline, but I don't think I saw you jump as high for any of those interceptions. Just creating turnovers like that, especially down the red zone, kind of having the things that happen with the offense, just to bounce back like that. How excited does that get you?
Yeah, we preach about it all the time. If we put the ball in Jacob Clark and Hunter Wood and those guys standing back there, we give them the ball more often, they're going to score. So that's what we pride ourselves on is turnover margin. And again, it showed up today in a big way. And yes, it is very exciting.
I'm sure you don't do this, but like when we see a schedule come out, we'll circle wins and losses before a year. Could you ever imagine a 7-game win streak before this season?
Yeah, definitely. I liked our football team the whole time. Again, most of you guys probably thought I was half crazy when I would sit in front of you and talk about the football team in a positive way. But you guys don't see the work that they put in behind the scenes, and I actually don't think it's just going to be 7.
When the win today triggered an automatic clause in your contract for a 1-year extension.
How about that?
It's just when you look at that and just knowing the work that's gone into this, trying to build this back up and build it into a team that's going to contend in the Valley for the next few weeks. Just what's that mean going forward and looking in the future as well?
It's extremely rewarding. These guys are with us a lot. They spend a lot of times. They miss funerals. They miss weddings. Our coaches miss time with their kids. They miss the same amount of things. Football is really hard, and to win in football is even harder. And again, I can't say enough about the culture of our football team, the men in that locker room. I'll stand behind them 100% of the time.